So as you La Liga fans will know, we had some midweek mayhem last week leading up to last weekend's fixture, so we're bringing you a bumper episode of La Liga Talks today. Guys, don't forget to get involved with our predictions segment at the end of each episode if you want to win a special prize. And today we're going to introduce the La Liga Monthly Award, so stay tuned for exclusive clips of goals and assists. We can't wait to bring that to you. But guys, there's so much to speak about today, but what better place to start than with Hansi Flick's Barcelona, who were living in 7th heaven last weekend with a rather rejuvenated Brazilian at the forefront of the action.
He's got Olmo one way, Raphinha the other, hat-trick for Raphinha. Beautifully finished, and what a season he's having, what a day he's having, what a day they're all having.
Wow, what a game. I mean, I was covering that one. It was a match coverage for the Barcelona Valladolid, and I just couldn't keep up with all the goals, literally coming in left, right and centre, especially as you mentioned, Luke. Raphinha, he had 3 goals and an assist for Ferran Torres, who also got on the scoreboard. But what a game he had, especially that first goal. He made a really, really good run in, an amazing pass from Pau Cubarsí, which you guys will be able to see. It was a really, really incredible game from Barcelona. They had the football flowing there. Lamine was outstanding. Lewandowski got another goal. What did you guys make of it?
Very good again from Barca. That's 4 wins from 4 now. Hansi Flick is really
flying.
Doing so well with this team, and players like Raphinha, it's really good to see because, you know, he hasn't had the best time since coming to Barcelona. He's definitely not been a protagonist in this Barcelona side, but Flick seems to really believe in him. He's made him one of the captains of Barcelona, and he scored his first ever hat-trick in his career this weekend. As well as that, almost come into the team, kind of changed the dynamic in that midfield a bit, in that attacking role, and 2 goals in 2 games. Obviously scored the winner against Rayo midweek, which was chaos, and then just with another, he was like arguably as good as Raphinha in that
imperious.
Such a good player.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we'd already seen Raphinha's maybe sort of credentials as an assister in the weeks beforehand. You'd seen him crossing more into the box, but yeah, this week, like you said, put the goals on top of that as well. It's probably what Barcelona fans have wanted to see from Raphinha, that bit of end product, and we certainly saw that in that game. Barcelona's biggest win since 2016 there, so it really is it was quite a momentous day for Hansi Flick and his side, right?
Yeah, I think all the Barcelona fans are happy anyway.
Yeah, I saw my fantasy against Raphinha, captained him 26 points. So
that's crazy.
52 points, that's absolutely incredible.
An unbelievable fantasy player with us here in the studio.
She's on another level to us, but no, it was great. And also, as you touched on that Pau Cubarsí pass, again, Marc Casado played. Unfortunately, Bernal had a bad injury in that Rayo game, which is, you know, Hansi Flick was really annoyed about that, but it just shows he's got other players to bring in, and the youth are shining. And Lamine again, you know, especially his second assist. Yeah. Actually, both assists were out of this world. The first one to Lewandowski. They seem to be really working on their chemistry, and it seems to be working.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because that goal, Lewandowski kind of came short and then just went over the top, and Lamine with a perfect dink ball into Lewandowski, who finished it. I suppose like some fans will think it was quite an ambitious game plan for Real Valladolid. They kind of played a high line.
They did. A lot higher than at the Bernabeu, right?
Yeah,
it was a very different game plan, the way they went about it. But
exactly. I think this Barca team, because they have that midfield, the way the midfield works, they like to control the game. It's not as like long ball as Real Madrid play with their 3 really fast attackers. Even though Raphinha likes to go long, Lamine drops in and Lewandowski gets it short. So it's kind of a difficult game plan for Real Valladolid, but I think Hansi Flick's men just really exploded it.
So you've mentioned Hansi Flick there, and he gave us some more comments after the game, right? We saw him last week say he had that calmer to their play. Another step further here with the 7-0 victory. Let's hear what he's had to say after that game was played.
Well, it's a long way to that, but we start well, so but it's a long race for that, to speak about this. So the break is good for everyone, for the whole staff, for the players. Yeah, we have players. They go to the national team, but to play for the national team is also a big thing. So for them, and so we will, when we are back, so we go for the next match against Girona, and we prepare that, and this is step by step. It's always the same.
So we heard Hansi asked a question there about Barcelona's title chances. Obviously, it's very, very early, Carla, but what do you make of Barcelona's start and the chances to win the La Liga title this season?
I mean, I do agree with Hansi. It's very, very early to be able to tell, like, how many games are left still. The whole season basically is ahead of us. There are so many, but it's not only the La Liga we have to think about. There's the Champions League, there's the Copa del Rey, there's Supercopas. So Real Madrid obviously will have their chances as well to come back. But Barcelona, I mean, they're in good form. They look good. They have a lot of players still to come back from injury. So I do fancy their chances, and I think La Liga is probably the competition they're probably looking to go for the most, taking into account the squad they have. But yeah, let's see if Real Madrid, Atlético de Madrid also got a good weekend win.
Can't count those guys out, yeah, absolutely.
We'll see. I do fancy their chances though. What about you?
Been a good start, and I think, like every manager says, take it game by game. Like, there's no point in thinking, oh yeah, we've come out of the box flying like we're going to win the league. It's more of a case of building this squad and allowing Hansi Flick's players to understand the game plan that he wants to play, and it seems to be working so far. Like, in just 4 games, to kind of be playing this new style of football, very fluid and scoring a lot of goals. I think Barcelona fans will be very happy with the start, and just we'll be hoping that it continues.
Absolutely, as you said, like it's the cliche, isn't it? Take it game by game, but make no mistake, his Barcelona side will be eyeing that La Liga title this season. So last weekend saw Mbappé end his goal drought after quite a sort of tetchy midweek performance from Real Madrid, right, in which we saw them draw with Las Palmas. Ollie, you told me Mbappé wouldn't score over the 2 match days. You were wrong, but yeah, discuss that with me. What happened, and what did you make of their overall performances over the 2 games? I think it's important to say here.
Well, I was nearly right, because Las Palmas did brilliant on Thursday night to get a result against Real Madrid, and it was another lackluster performance. But his time came in the Bernabeu on Sunday, and fair play, he took his moment.
Celebration.
Exactly. It wasn't for lack of trying, as I said before. Like, I think he had the most shots in the top 5 European leagues before scoring, something like 24 shots. And the only way you can stop the unstoppable Kylian Mbappé is probably by throwing your body in front of him, because he gets himself in those positions so much. So that was a bit of bad luck for Mbappé in the first few games, but he was clinical on Sunday, thanks to another Fede Valverde moment of brilliance.
That assist, incredible. One of the best assists of the season,
Check us out
right?
in slow motion. Little back heel into Mbappé with a lovely finish on his left foot.
Great finish.
And we saw the emotion come out.
The emotion, that celebration, it's a cool celebration. I like it.
Yeah. But what do you think of Betty's performance?
You know what? I think they did pretty well. They weren't creating any threat up front, which I think was probably their flaw throughout the game. But I do think they did well to shut Real Madrid out for so long, especially knowing that obviously Mbappé wanted to score his first goal at the Bernabeu. They were playing with Vini up front, Rodrigo. So I really do think they had a solid game. I think once that first goal had gone in, I think they kind of just threw everything up top. They brought Victor Roque on as well. He was pretty good. He had a chance, but yeah, I mean, then we saw obviously that penalty. Vinicius let Mbappé have it. What did you think, Luke?
Yeah, I mean, it was interesting. That dynamic between those two is going to be interesting, because, well, as we know, there's a lot of great players in that Real Madrid team. So Carlo Ancelotti's next biggest challenge is going to be juggling that. We see some of the best managers in the game. He is one of them. Be able to do that very successfully.
And we saw Jude as well from the stand celebrating.
He was celebrating,
goal,
wasn't he? That was nice to see.
Yeah.
That was nice to see.
I think it's interesting what Ancelotti said. I think it was pre-match, about who decides who takes penalties, because they don't have a defined penalty taker, and apparently it's just on the pitch in the moment they decide. And Vini, as the player who's been at Real Madrid longer, it seemed like he gave the ball to Mbappé to let him have his moment, and was cheering up the crowd.
Typical Ancelotti style, right? Even in terms of his tactics, what it seems to me anyway, it's very fluid, isn't it? It's people take up positions on the pitch which they fancy playing on the night almost, and it's always been one of his strengths, I think. That
I mean, we saw midweek how Vini took the penalty. I do wonder if this will, as great as it looks for them now, will it become a problem in the future to who will want to take the penalty? Will there be a kind of rift about that?
I think it's easier in a game.
It might even be Jude taking the penalties, you never know.
Exactly. But in a game where you're 1-0 up and Mbappe's already had his moment, it's easy for that. But if that comes in like a match day 34, when you need a win against a tough opposition, and it's like, oh, we need to score this penalty, and then they miss. Like, there's so many things that can mess
There
up
I
the
would say
psychology.
Ancelotti probably needs to come in, kind of like say, this is the designated penalty.
I would let
right?
Mbappé take pens, like, to be honest.
But can he come in and start taking them when Mini was taking them last
I
year?
know
That's
he was,
the question.
but like, he's so good at pens.
Yeah.
Like,
No, I agree.
I think one thing we can all agree on this table is having that raft of talent is certainly no big problem for Carlo Ancelotti. There's managers in worse positions than him, for sure.
Yeah, a difficult one, and it hasn't been a perfect start, but now he's off the mark, so we'll see what happens after the international break.
So across the city with Atletico Madrid, it's another side which needed to bounce back from a midweek draw, and they did that. What did you make? Let's start with the win. Let's start with the positives. What did you make, Carlo, of Atleti's win on the last weekend?
I mean, it was a 92nd minute goal from Ángel Correa, who, other than him, he's best sub of the 21st century. No cap on that. It was really good. I mean, Atleti, I think one thing that we need to talk about is how well they're doing physically. Like, Atleti have always struggled to get to the end of the games with like a good physical rhythm. Yeah. Especially at San Mamés, it's a stadium where you really need to have fortitude in that sense. But we saw that, and Correa scored the goal. Sorlos set him up as well. Two of the subs, Simeone really did well. We saw Juliano Simeone come on, which is really nice as well. But bouncing back from that midweek, Luke, as you were saying, draw against Espanyol, which was really unfortunate, I think, for Simeone's side. Yeah. A 0-0 at home to Espanyol is kind of a bad result for Atleti. But they could have won that game as well in the first half. They had plenty of chances, and then it kind of just didn't happen for them. But yeah, I mean, a good bounce back, I think. San Mamés is always a difficult stadium. So
the fitness is really interesting. I mean, I think it was actually you told me, Carlo, that I'm a resident Atleti fan here, always teach me about Atletico Madrid. They had a hill, right, that they used to train on.
They used to. See, I think that's gone this season.
Well, the El Profe is gone.
Yeah, El Profe's gone, and a guy called Luis Pinedo is now the physical coach for Atleti. So I don't know, he's really got the players in kind of a good physical place. And Jimenez, I think, is one to keep an eye on. If he can stay away from the injuries like he's had in the past, I think it will be the difference maker for Atleti's defence.
Jose Maria Jimenez, 70 passes out of 71 pass attempts in that
Incredible.
game. So a very good performance from him, and this was a great win for Atleti. Let's not say anything else about it. This is a fantastic win. Away at San Mamés, a ground that they've struggled at in recent seasons. Got knocked out of the Copa del Rey last season by Athletic Club, and that was the first time Athletic Club lost in San Mamés since Real Madrid beat them in the first game of last season.
Wow.
So that kind of puts the win into perspective, and I think Simeone said, well, we needed to sit back, we needed to make sure we didn't go into the break a goal down, and they kind of played that pragmatic style, which even though Atleti have a lot of superstars this season after a fantastic transfer window, they kind of knew we need to be pragmatic here, we need to wait for our chance. And Gallagher nearly scored in the first half.
He was really good, actually. I think
pretty solid
good performance.
And some nice footwork. He had a chance, but it was that counter attack, and unfortunately it was a sloppy pass from Nico Williams, which Sorloth pounced on.
Which, speaking of Nico, he actually scored coming out of the break, but it was ruled offside just by a few centimetres.
Iñaki to Nico, it was like the perfect combination, but it was just offside.
Just offside, yeah.
Really unfortunate for Nico.
I mean, it would have changed the game completely, I think. I mean, Atleti would have had a good chance.
And they had a lot of chances at Athletic Club. Like, let's not make, don't forget that. Like, Athletic Club had a lot of chances, and I think that defensively, Atleti have been very impressive this season.
Yeah, three clean sheets in the last 3 games, I think, is really important to mention. They didn't get that all of last season, so it'll be an important thing to take into account for this season.
Still waiting for the Arana goal, though.
Yeah.
Hopefully that comes soon.
Hopefully. Let's see. Maybe he'll score with Argentina now on international duty and come back a bit refreshed. Let's see.
So I'm sure we'll see more from Athletic Club, but for now, Atleti in with a very strong win there. So we also want to focus on 2 teams that won both their fixtures over the 2 match days. Alavés, Deportivo Alavés, and Girona FC. Let's start with Alavés, whose strong home form continues aside everything else. I mean, that's 6 games unbeaten at home for them now, something they haven't managed since 2019. So they're really on the up. What did you guys make of both those performances? Both brilliant performances, right?
Well, midweek they beat Real Sociedad, which is a Basque derby. Which is, they've had a slow start to the season, Sociedad, but that's a fantastic result for Alavés.
They were also a bit unlucky with Oyarzabal getting sent off in the first half, but it's a massive result for them.
And then to go on to the weekend, with quite a comfortable win against Las Palmas, who got a good result in midweek. This is
very competitive, isn't it? Lots of teams testing each other, different results that we're seeing. Very competitive league we have.
But Luis Garcia Plata is getting the right tune out of this Alavés team at a good time of the season, because they need to get their points tally up as quickly as possible.
Yeah, and a player that's really impressed me is Toni Martinez, just signed from Porto for a very, very small fee as well. And he scored 2 goals in 48 minutes. He came on against Real Sociedad, scored. He came on the other day, scored. So, I mean, could he be their starter up front? Honestly, I think he's probably got a good chance of doing that.
Good signs.
The goal the other day, by the way, against Las Palmas was an absolute screamer. Could be goal of the match day. Check this out. Bit of sloppy play in the midfield from Las Palmas. Picks up by Toni Martinez, and he just says, I'm hitting this. Top bins again. We've seen some great goals in the league this season.
Yeah, we really have.
Yeah, this goal of the month contest, which we'll describe later, is going to have some rockets in there, right? So guys, another team, Girona, right? So we spoke about these guys on last week's pod. For the listeners, you might remember we said, just give Michel a moment. It will come together. We mentioned several players there, Brian Gill, for example, who scored, and it has come together for them over the last 2 match days. 2 wins in a row, both real impressive performances. Goals in those performances, a bit like the Girona we saw last season, right?
Yeah, I mean, they were really impressive away to Sevilla. I think Sevilla is struggling a little bit this season. We saw El Ruiz get on the score sheet both games, actually, so he scored a really, really impressive goal, as you guys can see, midweek, and then he scored from the penalty spot as well to kind of secure the win for Girona at the weekend.
Yeah, as you say, a good win against Sevilla, who've had a difficult start to the season, but I think we knew Girona were the difficult opening games, so we knew they were going to bounce back, and this is such a good way for them to do it. You know, just to get 6 points in 1 week is going to turn, the atmosphere in the group, the vibes around Girona. It's going to go from a bit of pressure, even not on Michel, but just in the group, to okay, we're good. We can win games.
We saw the draw for the Champions League, didn't we, last week? So it's the same week there that they know that some of the top sides they're going to be facing. So it was important for them, I think, to get on board right with the results, the right wins coming through
before the international break as well, which is it's interesting with the international break, because Barça, for example, would be like, no, we don't want the international break.
Exactly.
Whereas Girona, after winning 2 games, will be thinking, oh, this is maybe a bad time after getting back into the groove, whereas a team like Valencia needs it.
Yeah, Valencia and Sevilla, 2 teams definitely to keep an eye on this season, because they're really not doing as well as they should be, or as well as we could expect them to be doing.
Absolutely.
So they're probably dying for this international break.
I'll tell you what though, my favourite moment from Girona's 2 wins was Shigankov's celebration. I don't know if you guys saw, so the listeners who saw this, him with the lightsaber. And I say, may the force be with Girona this season.
So guys, in Next Gen segment this week, we're going to change it up a little bit, and we're going to talk about the La Liga awards. The under 23 players will have their spotlight as well today. But first of all, we want to explain what the awards are. You guys can get involved by voting Best Player and Best Manager of the Month, Best Save, Best Goal, and of course, Best Under 23 of the Month. So, the first nominee of the month is Lamine Yamal. The 17-year-old Barcelona winger has proved to be absolutely incredible in the start of the season with 1 goal and 4 assists. He's also found an incredible link-up play with the striker Lewandowski and is proving to be a fundamental piece of Hansi Flick's puzzle at Barcelona. The second nominee of the month is Pablo Barrios. The 21-year-old Atlético de Madrid midfielder has become key for Diego Pablo Simeone in the middle of the park. He provided an assist in match day 1 for Alexander Soroz to draw the game in Villarreal, and then against Girona in match day 3 he had an incredible run that set up Llorente to square the ball in for Koke to score. Another interesting nominee is Uche from Getafe, who signed from 3rd Division club Melilla just this summer. He's proved to be a hero at the Coliseum, scoring a goal in match day 1 against Athletic Club to get the draw in San Mamés, and he's proved to be a pitbull in the midfield. Your 4th nominee of the month is Raúl Moro, the 21-year-old Real Valladolid striker who scored in match day 1 in their return to La Liga EA Sports. He'll be a key player for Petzolano if they hope to stay in 1st Division next year. Last but not least is the 5th nominee of the month, Alejo Veliz. The 20-year-old Argentinian striker is on loan from Tottenham Hotspur at Espanyol and came in clutch this weekend with a last-second goal against Rayo Vallecano to win the game for his team. Will he be the key star man up front for Espanyol this season?
Okay, so it's back to me in the hot seat for another edition of LALIGA Talks Quiz Corner. You guys excited for the quiz today?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm nervous as always, but...
Well, yeah, we have some different questions today. We have a career path question. We have an interesting question about some La Liga managers. And on a weekend where Raphinha scored a hat-trick based question.
Ooh, nice.
Topical. Question 1 for 1 point. Which current managers in La Liga played for the club that they manage? So there's 4 in total.
Okay.
And can anyone get the answer there? Maybe you can work
I can
together.
think of one.
We're gonna go with whoever can get the most is gonna earn the point.
Okay.
So you can buzz in if you know one already.
Okay. Araña. Obviously Simeone. Played for
Simeone's
Atleti.
one. So that's in this one, 1 point to Carla. Whoever gets the most out of the 4 will take home the point.
Okay. Let's give one a go then. Belly goal. I'll go for Pellegrini. Manuel Pellegrini.
No. He only ever played for one club in his club career, and that was in Chile for like University of Chile or something like that.
Never reached the heights of La Liga.
Never reached the heights, but is one of the best managers. It's very interesting, but yeah,
The engineer.
incorrect for Manuel Pellegrini.
Oh, I've got another one. Baraja. for
Ruben
Valencia.
Baraja, current Valencia Club de Football manager, obviously a legend for Valencia in his playing days. Won trophies there, a leader. Now he's the boss. So that's 2 to Carla. 1 more to take the win. Come on, Luke. Think about the clubs. Think of the
clubs. Think of the teams.
Okay, I'm going to try one. I'm not sure.
Go on.
Luis Garcia Plaza for Alavés? No?
No, incorrect.
Okay. Go in.
You're just gonna have to throw.
Going with Mishap for Girona.
No. Famous Rayo Vallecano
Yeah,
legend, but never lined out for the Girona.
Okay, give us a clue.
Okay, this is like a big clue, but there's 2 left, and they're both from north of Madrid, where we are right now. That's all I'm saying.
Of Madrid now, so
Like north of Madrid, so like north of Spain.
Oh, okay.
Like not in the north of Madrid.
Okay, I've got it.
Okay.
And he's a big fan of this club. I think it has to be him. Imanol Alguacil.
Imanol Alguacil is the 3rd. So that means Carla takes the point. Last one.
Okay, and the other one is Valverde.
Yes.
incredible knowledge,
Oh.
ball knowledge from Carla.
Ernesto Valverde, of course. You know,
I hadn't thought of him, just my mind hadn't gone there. But
Athletic
makes
Bilbao.
sense.
So that's a point to Carla, just to go through them again. Diego Simeone for Atleti, Imanol Alguacil for Real Sociedad, Ruben Baraja for Valencia, and finally Ernesto Valverde for Athletic Club. Very impressive, Carla.
Looks like I've got to brush up on my knowledge of managers a little bit there, right?
Good question. I liked it.
Question 2 is a career path question.
Okay, another one of these.
Let's try a bit
This
better
was
than
difficult last week.
It was.
Last week, Luke got the winner. Luke was the winner of this segment, which was Danny Parejo. Now, for this week's, we're going to go a bit further back in time.
I'm slowly cooking up here.
To a player who's played for many La Liga clubs.
Is he retired? Or is he still
He is
playing?
retired. He is
Okay.
retired. That's the only clue I'm giving you. We're going to bring it back to 1997.
Wow.
He signed for Real Madrid. And in 1997 and 1998 season, he went on loan to Leganés, made 28 appearances, scored 3 goals. I'm going to fly through these ones because if you know it, just buzz in, but I'm going to fly through it a bit. In 1999, from Real Madrid, he went on loan to Espanyol, made 0 appearances, scored 0 goals. That's not helpful at all.
Memorable.
In 2000, he went on loan to Mallorca. So he started at Real Madrid, moved to Mallorca in 2000, and in 13 appearances scored 6 goals, then made the move permanent in the year 2000. Played for Mallorca from 2000 to 2004, made 120 appearances, scored 48
I want to
goals.
take a guess, but I'm not really sure.
I reckon to take a guess. So.
Eto?
Samuel Eto'o.
Wow, first game.
Samuel Eto'o.
I didn't know he
Well
started
played,
his
Carla.
career off at Real Madrid though.
Yeah.
I'm very surprised by that. He ended up playing to Barcelona, so
Yeah.
interesting.
So-
Eto'o played at Real Madrid. That's new to me.
I knew he played, but I didn't know he'd started out there.
Yeah,
Very
so he
interesting.
went to the Real Madrid Academy in 1996 and then made his senior debut in 97. And then, as we were saying, he's played for a lot of clubs, Samuel Eto'o, but the first few clubs of his career were all in La Liga. if you hadn't got it on the Mallorca one, great ball knowledge, Carla, you would have definitely got it on the Barcelona one. After that, he went to Inter, Angie, Chelsea, Everton. But again, Carla, you've won this week, but we're going to just do one more question just for the vibes. Speaking of vibes, it was all about the Brazilian vibes in Barcelona this weekend as Raphinha
Samba style
was doing the dancing, was scoring hat-tricks. So based on that hat-trick scored by Raphinha, today's question is fingers on buzzers, because you're going to have to be quick. In the history of La Liga, who has scored the most hat-tricks?
Messi. Has to be.
Yeah, it's Messi.
You need to be quicker.
So quick.
I said fingers on buzzers. I said fingers on buzzers. So that's a whitewash today. 3-0 to Carla. High five.
Bye guys, I let you down,
Excellent showing
Okay,
from Carla. So that means 2 wins for Carla, 1 win for Luke in the first 3 episodes of LALIGA Talks. Hope you've enjoyed the segment. See you next week.
So guys, it's time for the prediction segment where the hosts face the fans. But firstly, a massive shout out to Sam White, who got a massive 5 points, where we got one of the scores correct, Real Madrid, Real Betis. Amazing.
Yeah.
That beat us again with our 4 points, right?
Yeah.
One correct result, 1 perfect scoreline. Guys, we've got already up.
To be fair, we did well, but Sam White, his ball knowledge is just off the chart. So congrats to him. That puts the points on 9 for the fans, 7 for the hosts, 2 points in it.
We can still pull it back.
Yeah, we need to. Yeah, it's time.
The season's very long.
About time for us to pull it back, right? But yes, guys, make sure you're voting or commenting in the bottom there. We're going to read your predictions on screen. So, guys, we're approaching an international break, as I'm sure you're aware. So we won't be seeing you again on our screens until the week following the next match day. But we're going to pick out 3 predictions, 3 games here that we can predict on, and make sure you're doing the same, guys. Put your comments in, we'll read them on screen, and you can compete against us as hosts. Make sure you do that now. So we're going to go in firstly for Girona v Barcelona, my pick for the week. Now, Girona at home, slight advantage there maybe, but this one's going to be big in terms of the top 4 race, right? How do you guys see this game going?
Difficult one to predict.
Yeah.
Both teams in good form. Both teams have won their last 2 games. Girona at home in Montilivi, which is, you know, a good atmosphere, a small ground, and they had a good record against Barça last season.
They did 2 wins, right?
They won 4-2 in Montjuic, and they won at home as well.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, so that goes in their favour. But this is a rejuvenated Barça side, so it's. What do you think, Carla?
I think we're going to see goals from both sides.
Hopefully.
I think Barcelona could win.
It's hard, isn't it? It's hard to go in around.
Away win.
They scored 7 last week.
They did. But I mean, you never know how they're going to come back from the international break, if there'll be any injuries on the way back.
More international players are with Barcelona than will be with Girona, which is an interesting thing to consider.
So they have more time to prepare the match as well in Girona.
Exactly.
So.
Okay.
Mishap will have his players, you know, they'll be ready for this game.
Should we be bold and go with the draw, or do we want to actually try and win this?
Barça have won 4 games in a row. It's going to be hard for them to make it 5. That's going to be ridiculous.
Do you think draw?
I'm thinking draw.
2?
2 or draw? That's what I had in my head.
Desmond 2-2. So the game I'll be choosing this week is Atlético de Madrid versus Valencia in the Metropolitano. Valencia on a bad run, let's be honest.
They need a win though. I think that's important.
They badly need a win.
Yeah.
And it's not the best timing coming up against Atleti. I think Valencia have had one of the hardest opening fixtures in the league, so that's where Barça and his team need to, you know, remain strong and realise that easier games are on the horizon. But it's hard to look past Atleti after a great win in San Mamés. What do you think, Carla?
I mean, I think if Valencia look at what Espanyol did at the Metropolitano, they'll probably go and aim for a draw, right? Then it's very ambitious for them to try and win. But I think Atleti will get it over the line and will win the game.
I'd expect to see Atleti win here. I think some of those forward options they'll have, we'll start seeing them put some goals in sooner rather than later.
And we're going to keep saying this, but maybe it will be Julian's first goal. Matchday 38 may come around and he may not have scored still, but...
So you're thinking the superstars are going to shine?
Yeah.
What scoreline are you guys?
I think it'll be simple enough. I think we might see a 2-0.
Yeah, 2-0, 3-0, something like that. 2-0?
We'll go with 2-0.
2-0 with Aranya on the score sheet.
Okay, so my game for this week will be Real Sociedad against Real Madrid. A difficult ground to go to. Real Sociedad are in need of a win as well. So what are you guys thinking?
This is another.
This is a tough one. This is
I
a
don't
tough
know.
one.
Real Sociedad have been quite poor so far this season, so they need to bounce back.
They're going to be missing Oyarzabal as well.
Ooh.
Got a red card in the last game.
And Real Madrid are in good form.
Well, Real Madrid will be looking over at Barcelona, won't they? They'll be under no illusions that they need to get their season going very quickly now.
Yeah.
It was difficult for Real Madrid to win last season. I remember Arda Güler scored a winning goal there last season, so it's never easy to go to San Sebastian, but with the firepower of Real Madrid, it's hard to look past them. But I don't think it'll be a high-scoring game.
Neither do I.
It'll be one goal.
Yeah, I agree.
We'll be thinking
1-0 to
1-0
Real
Madrid.
Yeah.
1-0
Tight
to
game,
Real
tightly contested. So guys, that was an action-packed episode of La Liga Talks. Now, with an international break coming up this weekend, we're going to have a little break in La Liga EA Sports action, but not in La Liga Hypermotion.
Yeah, and you guys, where are you off to? Asturias this weekend?
Yes, we're off to the Asturias derby between Sporting Gijón and Real Oviedo this Saturday. It's Asturias Day on Sunday, so there's going to be loads of festivities up in Gijón. We'll be documenting it all on the socials. Should be a good time.
Stay tuned, guys.
And we'll be back for after Match Week 5.
Yeah, don't forget to like, comment and vote on the awards for this month. Until next time.
See you guys.